In the beginning, there was silence. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of stillness, the kind that lives beneath all things. Before every thought, before every decision, there is a space waiting to be heard. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel, the quiet fortress of the mind. He wrote his reflections not for the world, but for himself, in silence. Between wars, between duties, between the noise of an empire. His words were never meant to be famous. They were meant to keep him human. Today, we have forgotten that silence. We live in an age where every moment demands a sound, a reaction, a response. We fill our days with conversation, our screens with movement, our minds with thoughts that never rest. Yet deep down, we know it is only in silence that truth begins to form. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you sat alone without a screen, without music, without the urge to explain or escape? When was the last time you heard your own mind breathe? Today, silence has become a stranger. We live surrounded by sound, yet starved of stillness. Every vibration, every notification, every endless scroll fills the space where our thoughts once breathed. The human mind was not designed for constant input. It was meant to wander, to rest, to listen. But somewhere along the way, noise became normal and quiet became uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But how do we return there when our own minds feel louder than the world outside? We've mistaken activity for meaning and attention for connection. The constant noise gives us the illusion of being alive, while quietly numbing what's real. The more we chase stimulation, the further we drift from ourselves. Our inner voice grows faint, like a radio buried beneath static. And yet, beneath all that noise, the silence still waits. It waits patiently, like a loyal friend, ready to welcome us home the moment we stop running. The question is, will we ever dare to turn the volume down long enough to hear it? Silence is not escape. It is discipline. To remain still while your mind demands reaction, that is strength. Marcus Aurelius practiced this discipline daily. Surrounded by soldiers, advisors, and politics, he learned that speaking too soon is a form of surrender. He listened longer than others could bear. He waited until emotion softened, until truth rose to the surface. In his silence, he discovered what most people never find: clarity before action. Modern psychology tells us that the space between stimulus and response is where freedom lives. Marcus knew this centuries ago. When anger burned, he breathed. When fear whispered, he observed. Most of us do the opposite. We fill every pause, reply before we reflect, defend before we understand. We think silence makes us weak, but in truth, it makes us whole. Because silence doesn't mean absence. It means presence, the kind that listens to life without rushing to control it. The next time you feel the need to answer, explain, or prove yourself, wait. Let the silence speak first. You may be surprised by what it says. Silence is not emptiness. It is a space where the mind begins to heal itself. In the quiet, the noise of the world fades, and what remains is the voice you've ignored for too long, your own. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That insight holds a simple truth. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what happens, but from how we keep replaying it inside our heads. Silence breaks that loop. It gives the storm a place to rest. In stillness, the body slows, the breath deepens, the heart returns to rhythm. The mind, once restless, begins to sort through the chaos. Thoughts that once screamed start to whisper. Some dissolve completely. This is not escape. It is recovery. Every moment spent in silence is a quiet conversation between your conscious and your soul. You begin to remember what peace feels like. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And in that small, invisible shift, healing begins. In the end, silence is not the absence of life. It is the space that allows life to be heard. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he bowed before the quiet within himself. In silence, he found what no victory could ever give, peace with his own mind. Today, that same silence waits for all of us. It hides beneath the noise, behind every distraction, underneath every thought that demands to be louder than truth. And when you finally stop searching for words, the silence begins to speak. It doesn't shout. It doesn't explain. It simply reminds you that you are still here, breathing, present, whole. Try this. When this video ends, sit for 2 minutes. No music, no movement, no escape. Just listen to what remains when everything else is gone. Because silence is not the end of sound. It is the beginning of understanding.